Hi everyone, good afternoon. Really great to have you all here today. And we'll take a quick couple of minutes and let everyone join in before we start today's session. I hope my screen is visible and we'll just take a minute more for letting everyone in. So, welcoming you all once again. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Digital Fifth Presence, our knowledge session on digital product benchmarking. And before we start the session, I would like to quickly introduce myself. I'm Deepak. I've been a part of the Digital Fifth family for over 3 years now. I've been working on several open banking and embedded finance and banking transformation and digital transformation activities. And it's great to be a part of a growing family and a budding ecosystem. And as of today's session goes, we are doing a session on knowledge session on digital product benchmarking. Why exactly digital product benchmarking is we have seen a growth in the ecosystem where most of our products are now completely based digitally, and we have seen a lot of traction coming from the customers trying to have that experience digitally where, and we've also seen lesser number of customers trying to actually reach out to the branches or be able to get into such kind of products where they require to travel and get to a particular service. So now that everything is available through the smart device, every one of us are more interested and comfortable to explore a product or service at the feasibility or availability of it on our mobile device, right? So that's where we are doing this session today. And as a part of this session, we'll be checking out on strategic benchmarking in the BFSI industry. How does that actually go? And revolutionizing how the digital product benchmarking. This is more focused on the financial products per se, and when is the right time to pick up the benchmarking is a key. That is something that we'll discuss on today. And we will also discuss about the Pulse framework, which we are just introducing through this particular knowledge session. And we will also go through a particular case study. Before we dive deeper into the session today, I know most of you all know us, but let me maybe quickly introduce our organization to the newcomers whom we have today. So we are Digital Fifth. We are Asia's first fintech and digital finance consulting and advisory firm. We've been working with a lot of fintechs and BFSI institutions and NBFCs where we are a part of consulting services. We've been a part of their digital advisory services, open banking advisory services, and have also helped them launch a lot of embedded finance applications. And we've been also helping a lot of fintech and startups to actually launch themselves into the market. We've also been a part of technology due diligence services and financial investment advisory services. And we do also take a lot of security and compliance audits and digital research and content management activities. And moving ahead, we are really happy and would like to thank all our customers who've been a part of our growth journey, and would really like to thank them for the extended support. And quickly moving on to our particular organizational reach, we have around 80K followership on across all the social media platforms with the founders and the company page included. We have a bigger email list, and we do a regular newsletter which goes weekly to all the 23,000 email lists that we have. And we also do have a 12K subscriber list on the LinkedIn newsletter subscribers base. And we do have a Avid ecosystem of 2,200 WhatsApp connects, which includes a lot of CXOs and CEOs from banks and fintechs. And we also do a lot of content reach where, other than for our newsletters, we do regular blogging and we do release annualized and quarterly reports, which actually focus on deep content in the ecosystem. And we do also a lot of ecosystem maps, which are global and verticalized and very focused. And we do a lot of influencer activities, which include webinars, podcasts, and a few closed user group meetings, which like the CXO dinners or maybe the fintech bazaars and a lot of other activities. Moving ahead, we also do a lot of training, and our corporate training services include a lot of fintech services, fintech modules, digital lending, digital payments, open banking, digital banking. And we've also included the digital product management, trade finance, and supply chain finance, along with our AIML, blockchain, cybersecurity, and embedded finance modules. And we are really happy for our customers who've helped us really pick up the corporate training modules, and hopefully we'll be able to do much more. And in case you are looking for more corporate trainings, or you're a fintech who are helping to train their particular team lift off, please do reach out to us. Moving ahead, let me also quickly introduce our trademark event, which is Bharat Fintech Summit, which is one of the biggest fintech events in India. And this is going to be much bigger on the same dates as we hosted it last year. That is 7th and 8th of February. Our themes this time are digitization, innovation, globalization, and inclusion. So we please do keep checking out us on the social media and our website for more and more information on our speakers, our panel discussions are, and this time we are also expecting a larger footfall base, close to somewhere around 4,000, and close to 50 plus experience centers, which are quickly filling. And we also have several masterclasses and solution demos, which are planned. Quickly moving on to the topic for the day today, which is on the digital product benchmarking. And before we actually get onto the session, as we were discussing how and why digital products have been increasing in the market, and how the traction in terms of the digital products is a growing requirement for our ecosystem, let us also understand why we require digital product benchmarking. Because there are several institutions today trying to launch the similar services, and every customer, based on their particular personalized need, are looking to have their particular service or product from a particular organization. And today, this particular stickiness, which we earlier used to call kind of loyalty of the customer, is shifting based on the product experience that we keep giving to our customer, and the service that we offer to the customers. So in this really tightly knit competitive world, let us try and explore how the product dynamics are changing, and how digital product benchmarking is going to be the key to unlock this particular growing conundrum in the market. So while we are discussing this, let us also understand the couple of surveys that we did in the market. And according to 89% of the enterprises today, they believe that the industry requires a particular organization to have a digital product strategy established and approved to be a part of their long-term business plan. This can't be a short-term activity where we plan for a particular product, launch it, and then start thinking what next. So this particular strategy needs to be devised in as per the organizational strategy that we have. Short-term, medium-term, and long-term are the specific ideas that we need to have. And what is happening to that remaining 11% who are actually moving to the market without a digital product strategy is the products are not surviving in the market as per the competition that is coming in. And speaking about this competition, we would also like to have a particular weightage given to the digital strategy that we are having against our competitors in the market. So this particular digital strategy that we are framing shall not only have to be our particular organizational thought, but also trying to understand what our competitors are doing. Any kind of innovation that actually gears up into the market and comes down can actually make any particular simple product obsolete from tomorrow. So that's the kind of simple thing. If at all we see, taking a simple example, not related any way to the financial thought process, but a particular strategy being in place, how is it required? As we can take a simple example of Nokia phone. While they had a lot of market traction available, and just because they were not ready to take up the digital revolution exactly the way the market was looking at it, suddenly in less than 2 to 3 years, the whole company as such vanished out of the market, right? So while that is a physical product here, I mean, with the budding example, let's dive deeper into the digital product and the digital product benchmarking. When we speak about digital product benchmarking, what is it? What we do in this benchmarking activities? This is a complete comparison of our digital strategy in bits and pieces, or on the whole, as per what the competitors we are mapping in the same industry. And this particular comparison or assessment that we do in terms of our digital product strategy sometimes is closely knit with respect to the features that we are launching in the particular product, the services that we are currently offering, and how easy are these particular services as per the perceivance of the customers. And looking at it, what kind of new products that should our company launch in this particular year, or maybe next quarter of the release that we are planning. So these kind of thought process are something that could be a part of your digital benchmarking. And in maybe simpler terms, to explain what and how digital benchmarking was, this also can serve as a comprehensive health checkup for the digital creation that we have. So it's not just on what new or services or products or features that we should launch. It also serves as how are our existing features working, and how satisfactory is this particular product or feature to our customers. So this could be as simple as that, doing a simple assessment, trying to improve and streamline our current services. And this also could be a part of a rigorous product evaluation and evolution process, where we map the particular product, we understand the long-term strategy, and we take the bare bones and take the MVP structure, go to the market, and keep improving based on our market feedback that we keep receiving. So, and examining all the digital products and services, we should also undertake the benchmarking activity to understand how we fare against the established industry standards that are there, regulatory standards that are there. And we should also ensure it is very, we are building our products in a very dynamic nature, where we would be able to respond to all the ecosystem changes or the regulatory changes in a quick step. So, I mean, the future of the digital product will always depend on how we could quickly churn out the features or products, and also by the regulatory aspect and the compliance aspect as strictly as we launch a feature or a service. So that's all the prospects that we can bring through the digital product benchmarking. So diving quickly deeper into this particular benchmarking activity, we would like to introduce a poll and try and understand our customers' perspective. Sakti, if you can please launch the poll so that we can get the feedback from the customers and understand. So this particular poll is on how and which phase does your organization typically engage in the digital benchmarking service. So we would quickly take 30 seconds for the customers to answer this poll. So sharing our results, these are quite interesting what we could see. So while majority of the people consider that digital product benchmarking is a product is a phase of new product introduction, we would quickly like to dive deeper into and understand how the product benchmarking can actually uplift a product in during the maturity phase and in several other situations of the particular product. So moving quickly on. So these are our results that we could find today. And thank you everyone for answering. And moving quickly to the next session on, so while we've been discussing about the digital product benchmarking, let us try and understand, is this a performance assessment tool that we are undertaking, or is it a strategic necessity that we would like to understand? So in terms of digital product benchmarking, while we would also be able to assess the performance of our particular product, it also helps streamlining our process and services that we have actually built in the background. So when undertaking this particular product benchmarking activity, we would also be able to judge how the feature is working, how the reporting is happening in the background, if that particular product or service is taking more time in terms of the customer action when it is taken, and what are the long-standing challenges that have been leading to a lot of drop-offs in our particular product. How do we streamline this particular steps in between to reduce the friction in terms of our customer activities, something that we can definitely get through the benchmarking activity. And in terms of the analysis, we would also be able to identify inefficiencies in our products or services, and if these could be time-taking processes or very cost inclusive products or services which are running in the background. This could as much be as your server runtime that is existing, or maybe your particular service which is hosted in a particular different location, which could be streamlined, or maybe some service which requires a 24/7 monitoring, but we are not doing something. So these are all the analysis kind of stuff that we can do and streamline these particular activities in the background as well, and also improve on the quality of the service that we offer. So based on our analysis that we could find, let's say if the customer feedback is that we need to have a 24/7 customer care service, we would also we would like to improve in terms of how automated messaging that goes to the customers, be it your chatbot, be it your robotic answering machines, if the customer is expecting a calling service to happen, and how quickly we can automate these particular services where less human intervention is needed, if at all it is a 24/7 service. Or maybe just bring in a call center team which could be slightly outsourced and ensure that 24/7 customer service is something that we definitely provide to the customers as per their expectations. So this way, this can improve the service quality and also improve the customer satisfaction. This while we discuss this, improvements need not just always be in terms of the serviceability, but just to improve a particular feature per se, where we are expecting on the home screen, the customer will actually provide 10 particular input points, and the customer needs to spend maybe 30 to 40 seconds punching in all the information. And maybe in the other steps, being it a financial application, we need to do the KYC anyway. So can we bring in the PAN and Aadhaar information beforehand and fetch these particular details in an automated fashion, so that it looks to the customer that we are actually trying to ease out this particular service, and these particular services will not only improve the onboarding journey for us, but also improve the customer satisfaction in terms of the application utilization. And in terms of the adoption, strategic benchmarking activity for products always will encourage the businesses to actually benchmark themselves against the competition in the market. And we would also be able to understand how well we are faring with the regulatory aspects that are coming into the picture, as we've spoken. So in the long term, as expecting, we would swiftly be expected to be adhering to all the regulatory changes, or maybe the market competition. So whenever required. So how well we can develop this particular digital product in a dynamic way for us to start adopting to the particular. Should also what or the product that we have, right? So currently we are already taking the onboarding details of the customer, or we have several touch points. Sorry, sorry. Sincere apologies, everyone. Looks like there is some connectivity trouble. I'm really sorry. So, I hope we could follow the need for product benchmarking in the digital scenario. But taking the discussion forward, let's say on our platform or a product has multiple features, we can through data, we would be able to understand what are the data points that the customer is happily providing to us. What is the behavior of the customer on our platform? How can we utilize this data and analyze this particular time spent by customer on each and every feature or a particular page of the particular product that we are launching? This helps us provide better performance in terms. Let's say the customer does not always, or maybe 80% of the customers only use 5 features. So can I create a touch point right away on the home screen where it is easy for the customer to actually utilize the feature that they are more interested in as compared to available and not being utilized, right? And let's say if the customer is not utilizing this particular product, sorry, or a feature, there is a definite possibility it could be slightly in a tough way for the customer to perceive or take that particular journey. So it also will serve as a touch. A torchbearer for us to understand how do we streamline this particular product or service which is not being utilized or a feature which is not well perceived by the customers. And through this particular data-driven decision making, we would be able to improve customer-centric focus. Through this particular data, we would also be able to create personas of the customers and not generalize the whole behavior of a customer as such. So identification and utilizing or highlighting the features or products or services that these particular customers could be utilizing could actually improve the customer centric focus in terms of our platform and product, and also could improve the traction from the customers. This could be a simple feature that we all could be witnessing maybe on our platforms like Netflix or Amazon, where let's say we wanted to watch a movie and we completed, keep seeing suggestions, right? So people who watch this particular movie have also watched these particular movies. It's as simple as that. Let's say if we are running a financial advisory platform where customers are coming to actually invest in mutual funds or maybe stocks, and let's say the FD is also a feature that you can launch and say it can be a part of your safe portfolio. So that those are, and we could also improve, run the analytics in the backend and see how many customers are utilizing it. And let's say 50% of the customers who are investing in stocks and equities also have FDs. This could serve as a touch point where we can tell the other customers 51% of the consensus of the audience are actually trying to make FDs in their portfolio. Why not explore? So those are the kind of user-centric focused product launches or feature launches that we would be able to make. And this particular features would always be data-driven rather than we just randomly launching a particular product or service. And this particular user-centric focus and the data-driven decision making will enhance the customer satisfaction on the platform. And based on today, based on the analysis that we could do launching a couple of products and services for our partners, we observed that almost every particular customer has at least 3 bank accounts, and almost all of us use all the 3 apps, which is GPay, PhonePe, and Paytm, where all of these particular apps or banks always provide the same services, right, or similar services. And yet we are always used to one particular app. Most of us, if at all we go back to the consensus again and check, it is always going to be one app that actually helps us be more sticky towards it. That does not mean there is no traction for the other platforms, right? So that's where this particular user satisfaction is very important for the customer to have that stickiness or the loyalty towards a particular platform or service. So if at all, let's say I genuinely go on to Paytm to keep paying bills, it constantly and let's say I keep paying it on second or third of every month. On second of every month, I get a reminder from Paytm saying, "Boss, it's time to pay the bills, and we regularly see that you pay the bill here. Why don't you click here to just quickly pay it off?" So those kind of nudging from the customers and these data-driven decisions and the customer focus are definitely improving the loyalty and stickiness of the particular platform or product. And as we've also been discussing, this digital product benchmarking also helps us suffice the strategic needs of a particular organization. we would also be able to benchmark this particular product back to our original strategy where we planned and launched this particular product, right? So it would help us realign ourselves to the product journey that or the product roadmap that we've built for our organization. In particular decision, is this long-term strategy going to work for us, or are there any deviations based on the market feedback that we are receiving that we need to quickly make, rather than just investing 4 to 5 long years of the time from the organization and the huge investments happening in the background, and finding out that the alignment of the product is completely away as per the strategic market need is something that we would want to realize as of today as compared to next 5 years, right? So those are a few things that we can align with the product benchmarking. And we would also be able to utilize this particular product benchmarking as an activity to have a check on what our competitors are doing and how do we improve our particular services or features that are running in the background. So this serves as a constant scale where we start measuring ourselves. How do we fare in terms of our target audience, or our market changes, or our competition in the market? We would also be able to map ourselves against these strategic advancements in terms of the technology that are there, or our partners coming up with new age APIs which can actually further streamline the services, or maybe whatever analysis that we were trying to do in 3 different steps can be streamlined to 1 step down. So those kind of things are definitely possible through the product benchmarking activity. And moving to the different phases, when do we actually take up product benchmarking activity? We would like to run a poll once again and see how our audience perceive about I mean, in terms of when do you undertake this particular benchmarking activity, and do you follow any structured process as such? So over to you guys. Great, great. It's great to know that almost 80% of you actually have a structured process in place. But we would also like to help you improve this particular structured process that you have with our Pulse framework. And also, how do you actually map it across with your particular organizational need in terms of the product or the organizational stages that you have? So before we dive deeper into our framework, let's understand at which stage of a particular organization, or when does an organization take up this benchmarking activity? As you all actually helped us understand this, or reiterate this fact that early product validation is one key step where we definitely pick up this benchmarking activity. In this, we not only map our particular product to the market competition, but also map ourselves to the regulatory requirements that are there. How do we map our particular services in the backend to streamline and to quickly churn out the market or the customer expectations back? So those are all certain things that we do at the startup stage. But interestingly, at the growth and maturity stage is where most of the organizations keep a cyclic process of the benchmarking running in the backend. So in the growth stage, during the market entry and just post launch, most of us from the startup stage to this market entry stage must have spent some time, and it could have actually taken a bit of time in terms of our launch activity, right? And the development that effort that has gone in the backend. So we would like to revalidate in terms of our MVP that is available with the market feedback, saying just not only checking if the product or service is good, but also trying to benchmark the features and the particular services that we are trying to launch, if they are in line, even if it's a minor service or a product, is it really in line with our local competition? What all competitors have this particular product or service, and how do I actually help my particular product start winning the customers in the and start reaching to the customer expectations? So that's at the growth stage that we take. Other than for this particular market entry stage, once this product or service starts hitting the customer expectations, right, and we see traction hitting in, And when we exactly start scaling our operations, we would definitely start checking on this benchmarking activity on the drop-offs in the funnel that are happening. Where are the customers spending time but not converting to be rightful customers, or they're exploring but not buying the particular product or service or utilizing a particular product feature. So why is it exactly happening? Is there a problem in the set of feature that we've launched, or the operations in the backend are not streamlined properly and we are experiencing network drop-offs in the backend? Or is my network stack unable to withhold the traffic, or is not actually faring up with the traffic bumps that we are seeing? Or is my messaging not clearly going to the customer in terms of my product, services, or features? Or how is the cost which is actually getting incurred in the backend while running these particular products or service? And how do I improve the customer efficiency or service is something that we check during the benchmarking activity at the scaling stage. And also to gain the competitive edge in the growth stage is where we start identifying on our main focus areas, which are the services or products or features which are receiving maximum traction from the customers, and how do I improve the other products or service, or how do I launch new features in the backend so that I can actually start hitting the competition in a neck to neck scenario and start winning the expectations of the customers. And moving from the growth stage to the maturity stage, we would, as we discussed earlier, we would like to keep the improvements rolling in. We would like to also ensure that our technology stack, which is running in the background, or our operational team is running at a peak of their efficiency, right? So when we undertake the benchmarking activity at the maturity stage, we start looking at how do I engage the customer in terms, how do I often engage with the customer, what is the response that I'm getting from the customer, and how is their satisfaction with regards to a product or service which is running. Is my market competition starting to discard this particular product and is starting to look at different other products? Where is that particular let's say in this particular improvement stage, where is that new torch bearer for me to take this particular product ahead is something that we start looking at. And in terms of the product evolution, this product evolution phase could either be a regulatory shift in the market, or maybe when the leadership shifts in the particular organization and they bring a creative and innovative vision to this particular product, which can actually take this product to the next stage that it has been waiting up for. So during this phase, we would definitely go back and start checking on if this evolution thought process or the particular product roadmap that we are envisaging is right to the does it meet to the changing needs of the customers? We not only do the service with the customers, but we do also see in the backend how these particular product or features, how easy it is to actually start improving them, or how easy it is to change in the background without affecting the whole product as such. And are we ready there in terms of to meet the requirements of emerging technologies, or is it at the phase where we need to completely reimagine our product? Is something that we also look at the product evolution stage. And in the post maturity stage, we also look at the revival of a particular product if the traction has been declining, or if we are looking at an exit strategy, or our organization is looking to pivot from one of the services to offer the different kind of services. How do we revive our particular product and get into the new product or service that we are reimagining is something that we also check here. And not only we do that, we also explore the market, see how this particular pivoting idea is going to fare in terms of our competition, and what are the new competitors, and how does it fare with the current image of the organization that we have, and how do we actually move from image one to image two, which could actually just be something like you are just a bill payments app and you want to now move towards actually showing news or maybe some other services on the platform. So how do you change your image from one place to the other is also something that we'd also explore during this benchmarking activity and create the strategy behind it. And we'd also work on cost reduction services. Let's say we in the post product is running at an optimal traffic where the traction is pretty decent, but we are not experiencing huge profits. So this particular cost reduction could not always point towards the employee reduction, but also streamlining several other services. which are actually adding to the cost, right? So that could actually be your tech stack, or a worn out server which is actually consuming a lot of energy, or maybe reducing the response time in the backend, and or several other licenses which are being used in the backend to support this particular product or service, which are actually a costly affair. Maybe the security system that we have implemented is quite extensive and is barely meeting the regulatory requirements. Is there a requirement where we move to a new particular security service which is offered under one license at a better cost and meet the regulatory requirement as compared to the other? So our product benchmarking activity, when we call, not always remains the particular product and feature that we see, but also fares back to the backend services that we use or the support systems that we have in place. Moving towards our framework that we've been speaking about, the digital fifth pulse framework. This is something that we utilize in our product benchmark as a stage one, where we identify the parameters. These parameters could mapped down to several stages. These stages could be either your onboarding screens, or maybe just your user experience as such on the messaging or that goes to the customer, or how well do I keep launching my particular services, how quickly do I show notifications to the customers, how and when my OTP is receiving, and is it being auto-filled or not, how automated are my services in the backend in terms of streamlining from step one to step two, without the customer realizing that there are 10 steps happening in the background, but it looks like a single step for the customer and it is easy to read and perceive. So those are all certain parameters that we actually judge and evaluate across. And other than for these, we also look at the tech stack that has been implemented, the APIs that are being implemented, the number of inputs the customer has to give for a particular, to buy a particular product, the number of screens he has to move from one place to the other before he completes a particular product or service, is also a part of these particular parameters. And we move to the we also do the user centric analysis. This is where we'll actually look at our competitors and identify exactly those parameters which are actually giving a better experience to the customer, be it a feature map which is done, be it a messaging information which is shown beforehand to the customer. It could be as simple as before you start this particular journey, you might be required to take a photograph of your PAN card and Aadhaar card. Why don't you keep them handy before you go to the next step? So it could be as simple as that. This user-centric analysis helps us streamline several steps which are expected in the background, where the customer could actually procure all the details required, have them in place, and sit down and complete this particular product onboarding, whatever is required. So those are something that we do. And we also look at how is the experience as such which is coming in. Is my does the platform recognize me as a customer? If at all I have their particular credit card, but I don't have a bank account, as soon as I punch in my mobile number, does the platform still recognize me? Is something that I would be interested in. Let's say if I'm an existing customer and having to put in all the details, my experience as such could be tarnished, and I might not be interested in taking the whole application process as such, right? So those are something that we also observe. And we also do a complete life cycle mapping in terms of the product that we are trying to launch, or evaluating in terms of their maturity, or how whatever phase of the product life cycle they are in. And we look at the journey of this particular whole product as such, where the steps can be streamlined, the input that can be streamlined, and how do we actually start improving the conversions in the backend in terms of the churn rate from one screen to the other, is something that we also look in. And we also identify the gaps and improvement areas in this particular product that we can strategically take up in the next stages of our particular product. And we also do a strategic alignment activity, where does this particular life cycle or the product roadmap meet with the expectations that we've drawn at the early stage of our particular organization? So does it meet to the strategic goals that we've started taking as a target and as a vision for our particular organization? How do we realign these particular strategic initiatives, is also something that we help you evaluate. And we also do the experience optimization. It could be just the design of the particular screens. It could be the content that is shown on the screen. How do we personalize this particular information, what we are showing, and how do we provide a structured approach in terms towards the improvement, what we are proposing to the particular product. This could be prioritization of your particular features. This could be prioritization of the particular changes that you have to do in the tech stack. And this could also be cost efficiency in terms of the products or features that you would like to undertake. So these are all some things that we help you improve, that we help you understand and prioritize, which in turn results in the experience optimization on the product. And before we move on to our case study, we would like to take the feedback from the customers. We hope you all are enjoying the session today, and we promise that whoever is providing the feedback, we will share our particular deck with you all. So hope to get your all feedback. Sakshi, if you can please put the feedback form. We request everyone to please do give us the feedback. It would definitely help us improve our next set of webinars. So moving on to the case study that I mean, this is one of the case study in the benchmarking activity that we have undertaken in recent times. And we keep checking out several benchmarking activities and across several particular products. But this stood out for us because a particular premier financial institution was looking to streamline their particular digital lending services, especially towards the personal loans, which could be an ETB customer which is existing to the bank or new to the bank. So in this particular, before we get into the nuances on what we've checked or what were our project objectives, just giving an overview of this particular financial institution. They are very well placed in the ecosystem. They have a great customer traction, and the financial investor reporting keeps saying that they are improving their particular lending services by 15% year on year. At the end of the day, they still were looking to digitally benchmark their particular services to ensure that they actually do better than their competition. And this particular, I mean, benchmarking activity was not only concentrated on the experience that the customers were getting, but also enhancing the user engagement that is already there on the platform. How do we improve the digital touch points which are available to the customer? While we see a reduced traction on moving to the offices to get these particular services, what is the easiest way for me to reach out to the customer is something that was also being explored by this particular organization. They were also looking to not only benchmark the particular current service to improve their particular features of the digital lending application, but also were looking to innovate the particular features that they have and start looking at how they can launch something new in the backend, how they can improvise their credit policy without actually deviating on the regulatory requirements, and how do we improve this NTB customer loans where they are new to the bank. There is a good possibility that they could be new to credit as well, right? So in this particular situation, how do we provide loans to these customers in an easier fashion is something that they wanted to check. So moving on to the project objectives that we promise that will be a part of our deliverable was to completely check and benchmark the digital journey that was available on their platform amongst their competitors. Also compare the API stack that is available from the competitors versus what the bank was or the financial institution was using, and a thorough comparison of the personal loan journeys among the established financial institutions that were there, and also as faring or I mean benchmarking it against the emerging fintech players who are bringing innovation or new performance standard in the market was also something that we promised. And we also looked at the current operational and underwriting process that they had in the backend, and how do we improve this particular service, automate for a quicker churn and provide immediate dispersal post the application process. So those are some things that we've also were benchmarked against, and also identified patterns and areas for improvements in this particular area. And we've also analyzed the market trend in terms of approaching the personal loans, and have aligned the customer expectation in terms of the inputs that could be given or data that is being utilized in the backend. And we could also see an improved traction on utilizing the account aggregator services through the particular digital lending journey, which were mostly dependent on the PAN details and the income tax details that are provided by the customers, right? So we've also helped them improve their particular underwriting engine to start reading the automated statements that could come from account aggregator. Also, maybe read from the uploaded financial institution statements and streamline the particular services. We've also helped them create an exceptional journey which enhances the current journey and is focused to improve the customer loyalty on the platform through as a part of this benchmarking activity, we've ensured the product team was in line, the technology team was in line, the compliance team was also there to start looking at what compliance and regulation requirements were there and involved in the new age innovation that we were proposing. There was also design team to actually constantly look at the Figma screens and provide us with a better feedback on in terms of the design capability or the design guide that they have been using for the organization, so that we are not deviating too much in terms of what we are aligning. It shouldn't be something like we've just streamlined the design on a particular product, but we go back and start revisiting every other product in terms of the design, just because this new age design is far receiving better traction, right? So this particular change in terms of the design has to go universally across all the particular products. So those are something that we were advising regularly on. We've also had regular meetings with the credit policy team, understanding not only their current credit policy, but also the risk that they might have to take in terms of the new age credit policy that we were suggesting, and finalizing the BRE engine requirements in the backend to streamline the automation and support immediate disbursements happening. And we've also regularly been interacting with the development team to understand how difficult are the journeys for them to implement in terms of what suggestions we were giving and the automation that is possible in the background. So, looking at all the teams being participative in that particular discussions and their focus to improve the particular journey or a particular product was really amazing. But a few of the challenges that we faced during this particular project were, while most of the team was available and most of the team members were ready to actually share all the information in terms of their particular thought process and the implemented systems or the product, they did not have the complete documentation of these particular product details or the technological details in the background. So, while you have a document available and it's just a small walkthrough session where you can understand everything, the team had to spend explicit time in helping us build the documentation again, so that we understand the foundational building blocks that they have already laid in the backend and start utilizing them to start building our innovation in the backend or improving the services of the current product which is there in the backend. So that was one of the challenges that actually we faced during this particular project. And other internal challenge that we faced was, while inclusive participation was expected from all the team members to ensure they have an informed decision across the team, and in the same team also there was just one person who was not interacting with the other person, and the changes were not being communicated in case they were not a part of that particular discussion. No matter how much we streamline through the minutes and every other discussion, it is important to have these interactions rolling between the team members, so that they are very well informed on all the changes that are happening, all the discussions that are happening. Some of the market challenges that we experienced during this benchmarking activity was to actually, while we saw the recent changes coming in from RBI, the app was handling, while the current app was handling well and the journey was streamlined, it was not dynamic enough to start handling any other changes that are possible in the future. So, or any of the credit policy that we are, if we are going to change in the future based on the risk that we see, the system was not dynamically in place to start streamlining it. So those were something that we also not only saw in the internal system, but also experienced it across the particular market competition. And the address requirements in this particular lending journey were pursued differently across the applications. while the current requirements from the RBI was to read the current address and understand the permanent address, most of the organizations were looking to also not only read the office address but also trying to capture the pin code of the current residence location and judge if the current address is exactly the same address that that is what is being provided by the customer. So I mean, we try to innovate in this particular assignment for this to address this particular issue in the for this particular financial institution. So we are hoping that it will be a new age revolution once this particular feature gets launched. And what, as a part of our approach, what we've also done was not only streamlining the ETB services, but also looked at the seamless journey improvements for the NTB customers. This included not only end-to-end journey fulfillment, but also improving the underwriting engine, which is available in the background. So, and also we've ensured frictionless onboarding is something that we had in place, and ensured the digitization of the documentation is also available for the customer, so that the backend operation streamlining in terms of the document sharing can also be automated. And we've also mapped the collaborative research, understanding different SFBs, personal loans, financial institution personal loan, NBFC personal loans, and we've tried to map across to include 4 to 5 banks, 2 to 3 fintechs, to understand the improved financial product, the lending products and features that we could launch. And we've utilized our Pulse framework to start judging across the parameters. And across, we've built a parameter framework of close to 150 parameters, which we've closely benchmarked against all these particular players that we've taken. And we've also ensured that these benchmarking results were qualitative and quantified in terms of the feature that they should prioritize and develop in the backend. Along with that, we've also done a detailed report to the top management, along with Figma screens, which had the improved UI UX, and we've also ensured places which needs to be dynamically updated as well. So that's more on our product benchmarking activity that we have taken. And opening the forum, let's look at, in case there are any I mean, doubts, if anyone wants to question something. And okay, we hope everyone has actually provided the feedback. If not, we request you to please provide the feedback once again. Sakshi, if you can please share the feedback from once again, please. Sakshi, if you can please unmute Mr. Prashant. Hi, Prashant. Hi.
Deepak, what you see from insurance broking company point of view, in terms of they are not the OEM, they are not the product owner, but certainly they are the distributor for many of the insurance company. So for this kind of engagement, what you feel about the insurance broker, or whether you have done some work on that side?
Definitely. So for the insurance broker, we see that there are a suite of products or services that they already have available. And when we start this particular journey, it actually the customer details are owned by a particular financial institution or the insurance organization at the back end, right? So if you can actually streamline the user journey in such a way where you capture the details on the platform, which are very minimal, yet if it can be easily utilized across all the insurance options which are available on the platform, can actually help you improve the customer traction. And not only in terms of the insurance products, it can also help you identify what are all the cross-functional products that you can launch on the platform to help improve the customer traction, is something that we can do. And we've also benchmarked against several other platforms and observed on a personal basis that I mean, while we keep taking the user details on their current life insurance or health insurance available, these particular details would also be able to cross sell in terms of the top up insurance expectations, or maybe a growth plan or a savings plan in the back end. as well. So those are some things that we that are definitely possible on the insurance side in terms of the strategic product offerings, but we would also be helpful in terms of streamlining this particular journey and automating the onboarding process with very minimalistic details.
It is from a customer perspective, and if you come it from to B2B kind of business environment where brokers are having their partners like agents,
Yeah.
and these agents are the user of the system.
Totally understand. In that fashion, it moves kind of like onto the assisted journeys, right? So in this particular assisted journeys pattern where we have an agent physically collecting the details and the other places, it will be more of a user onboarding screens which are available to the agents that can actually help streamline and digitize these particular services. If those details are available, then we'll have to centrally analyze these particular customer details which are there, build the customer persona, and identify the customer interest before we actually strategically start offering any new age insurance or product offerings on the platform.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Hope everyone had a really informed session today. We thank everyone for the active participation and patiently listening to us. We would definitely love to see your feedback, and we would ensure to share the particular deck that we've presented today to every one of you. Thank you everyone.